What if that community says that he's delirious, he's delusional, he's making up stuff and retelling stories that people have already heard? What if they say that? Would
If
that mean
they
that?
say that he,
Yeah, would that mean that he's not trustworthy because people are saying that he lies or steals fables and retells the fables, or that they can't trust what he's saying?
I think if I go into a community and I hear people talking about someone like that, I'm not really going to go close to that kind of person.
You said you're not going to trust him?
Yeah.
But that's what the Quran says that they were saying about Muhammad.
Okay, very good. So let me explain now. Now they trust him as a person. They don't like his message. So when he give them his message, they say, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't, like, maybe he's delirious, maybe he's telling old fables. You get all this kind of stuff. It's not because they don't trust him as a person. They don't like his message. So when they hear it, they're like, nah, this guy isn't saying things that like he's right or something, because they don't like the message that he's speaking.
So notice how that doesn't have to do with the message. It has to do with the person. They're saying that he's deluded. They're saying that he is retelling stories and fables, so they're not even trusting that he's even telling things correctly or coming with the message. They don't trust him. So
because of the message that he's passing.
So this would mean that therefore we should not trust him because a large part of the community didn't trust him and his message, right?
Now, but the reason of why they didn't trust him, that's where.
Okay, but I know, but we're going with your thing. You're saying that a large community of people trusted him. Just really quick, you're saying a large amount of people trusted him, therefore he's trustworthy. So then that would mean that that the contrapositive is true, is that if a large amount of people didn't trust him, that means that he's not trustworthy.
And before I gave you the reason why they trust him, I guess. Now let me give you the reason why they didn't trust him.
No, I don't.
Now let me
brother,
give you an example.
I'm not.
So I think you get my point clearly.
No. I'm not interested in why they trusted him or why they didn't trust him. I'm only interested in your consistency. If he's trustworthy, because a lot of people trusted him, then therefore he wouldn't be trustworthy if a lot of people didn't trust him, right?
His message, actually, it's not like they didn't trust him.
They didn't trust him. They were saying they wasn't saying the message is deluded. They're saying he was deluded. They weren't saying the message was messed up. They're saying he's the one just repeating fables that we've already heard and we already know. Like they're talking about him and his methodology. They're not talking about the message. They're talking about him as a person. So if a lot of people don't trust him, because of what he's saying, they're not trusting him.
Yes.
Therefore, we shouldn't trust him, right?
Now, if what he's saying is a lie, you get that would then there will be reason not to trust him. But what he's saying is not actually a lie, but they just don't like it. So
therefore it's not the
saying he's making things up. He's just saying the same thing. So
therefore, it doesn't matter if people trusted him or not. What matters is if what he said and did was true. Correct?
Yeah.
All right. So we got to the point where it doesn't matter if people trusted Muhammad, if they could have trusted him, but what he could have been saying could have been a lie, or people not trusting him, but what he's saying could be true, right? So what matters is whether or not his content, what he said, what he preached, was actually true, is actually worth trusting. So then this leads us back to the question: why do you trust Muhammad?
Now, if I give you my reason, you get, man, I've been giving this reason for a while, and people are saying it's circular reasoning. Okay. But I trust him because God says he's a prophet.
Why do you believe God says he's a prophet?
Because God says it in the Quran.
Why do you believe that God is speaking in the Quran?
Because I believe the Quran is the word of God.
Why do you believe the Quran is the word of God?
That's just my belief. I don't really have any reason I can give you.
Very good.
It's something that I just grew up believing.
I appreciate that.
And from what I've seen inside, from the message I've seen inside, I believe that it's from God.
I got you. So And thank you for your honesty. So your honest reasoning is circular reasoning. You believe you believe Muhammad is trustworthy because the Quran said so, and you believe that the Quran, whatever the Quran says, is true because you believe that it's from God, and you believe it's from God because the Quran says it's from God. It's that circular reasoning, which, you know, that's not how we can come to truth. You can't demonstrate that Muhammad is actually trustworthy with circular reasoning. We need something objective, you know, to be able to point to Muhammad being trustworthy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like, so for example, if a Jew were to ask me, why should we trust Jesus? Why is Jesus? I would tell the Jew because he's the Messiah who fulfills the messianic prophecies in the Old Testament, in your scriptures. So notice I'm not saying I believe Jesus is trustworthy because that's just what I believe, or that's because that's what the New Testament says. No, it's because he fulfilled Old Testament prophecy, things that are outside of the New Testament, right? I could point to things outside of my own, you know, I could point to things outside of the New Testament to show the Jew Jesus is trustworthy. He's worthy of their trust, you know? So you should be able to have something to demonstrate that Muhammad is actually worthy of our trust. Because a lot of us didn't grow up believing in Islam, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
Can I tell you?
Like, if you go to
oh, go ahead.
Okay. No, go ahead.
I was going to ask, would you like to hear why I don't trust Muhammad?
Yes.
So I don't trust Muhammad because of the reason why I trust Jesus.